Why I killed my naval officer boss. Houseboy shares his story. Rafael Jaja, the houseboy of a naval officer who allegedly killed his boss, Lieutenant Opobo-Nkoro Yusuf, and his girlfriend, Lorraine Onye, has confessed to the crime. Jaja, a native of Opobo-Nkoro local government area, Rivers State, confessed that he stabbed Yusuf to death, packed his corpse in a bag and took it to a bush where he set it ablaze because his boss allegedly refused to pay his 15-month salary. He alleged that the naval officer had promised to help him save the salary in 15,000 per month and pay him at once so he could use the money to plan his wedding. Punch reports that Jaja confessed to the crime and led investigators to recover the remains of the naval officer in the bush as well as the deceased's Hyundai Veloster, which he sold for N1. We also recovered the naval officer's phone, which he exchanged with the friend, in addition to N30,000, a police officer told the news outlet. In his confession, he said, "I am a technician. I have worked at Abuja International Airport. I returned to Port Harcourt in 2016 because my brother was ill. In July 2016, somebody introduced me to Lieutenant Yusuf that he wanted to install a DSTV. He was serving at the Navy Primary School in Port Harcourt. After I installed the DSTV, he told me to fix some wires. He was happy with the job I did. I told him I wanted to go back to Abuja, but he persuaded me to stay back and work for him. He gave me the spare key to his apartment and I started living with him. He promised to pay me in 15,000 monthly and that he would pay all my money before my marriage slated for December 2017. He met his girlfriend sometime in 2017. Whenever she passed the night at the apartment, the lieutenant would ask me to sleep in a store in the compound." Going further, Jaja claimed that he helped the late officer to execute 2 contracts worth N22.8 meters in September 2017, but he was not paid for his efforts. "While I was preparing for my wedding, I asked him to give me N400,000, he said he had no money. I eventually borrowed N320,000 to do the wedding. In January 2018, I went back to him to ask for my money. He said he did not have money and that I was disturbing him. I stopped going to the barracks. In March 2018, he called me several times, but I did not pick his calls. When I later picked, he said he had a job for me. On getting to his office, he said he had given it to somebody else because I didn't come on time. He laughed at me. I went to the barracks to help one of his colleagues fix a DSTV. On my way back home, Lieutenant Yusuf called me to help him take his decoder to the DSTV office for a reset. He gave me N1,000 transport fare. When I came back, he asked me to service his generator. When I finished, he gave me N1,000. I told him the money was small and that he was being unfair to me. I asked him to give me some money so that I could establish my own business to take care of my family. He said he did not send me to go and marry. The following day, he called me that the generator was not working again. He told me to buy N1,000 oil on my way to the barracks. After I fixed the generator, I asked him for payment, but he said he had given me N1,000 the previous day. I told him I collected the N1,000 because he was my boss. I asked for the money he was owing me again. He said he had no money and that I was disturbing him. He said he was also planning his wedding, Jaja added. He also explained that he began to plan Yusuf's murder in April 2018 when the naval officer returned from Abuja with a new Hyundai Veloster. He said he did not send me to marry and that I should carry my cross. I went back to him the next day for the money. He asked me to help him prepare noodles. There was a drug, Danlin, in my pocket. I bought it because of a dog that my neighbor, who just packed out, left behind. The dog was disturbing me and I wanted to give it the drug so that it would sleep off. I put a little of the drug in the noodles. I discovered the drug did not have any effect on him. On May 3rd, I went back to his house. I met only his girlfriend at home. We did not like each other, but I decided to be friendly with her that day. I asked her to tell me about her relationship with my boss. She was initially reluctant until I assured her I meant no harm. She told me that she and my boss were supposed to travel to Canada in 2017, but they couldn't make it. She said he bought a phone for her and gave her N300,000 to rent a house, he added. I was annoyed as she was saying all these. I asked her if she knew my boss' phone password. She said she did not know it. I persuaded her to tell me his ATM card password and she did. I pretended that I admired her hairstyle and told her to turn her back. The moment she did so, I held her neck and strangled her. I hid her corpse somewhere in the room and covered it with clothes. He said his boss, who went to bed immediately, did not suspect anything when he returned from work in the evening. Going further, he said he stabbed his boss with a knife when he, boss, was asleep. I packed his corpse in a bag and kept it in the boot of his car parked on the premises. I cleaned the blood stains on the floor, wore his uniform and drove the car out of the barracks. I drove the car to a village called Opobo and dropped his body in a bush. I looked for a tire and set his corpse ablaze. I burnt it so that nobody would be able to trace him. Still in the uniform, I drove the car to Benin, Edo State, where I sold it to one Alhaji. He did not want to buy the vehicle because I could not give him the documents. I convinced him that I am a naval officer and that he has no reason to be afraid. He bought the car N1.9 meters, but he was to pay me a balance of N120,000 before I was arrested. Through a church member I exchanged my boss phone with in Port Harcourt, he narrated.